Hello everyone, it is Sunday the 29th of March 2020 and I'm having a look at the global indices. So yes, first of all, a couple of things that need to that I'm following. So it appears, first of all, I'm following the NASDAQ the closest because it was the most bullish. So usually I would treat the Dow as kind of the leader, but the NASDAQ being the most bullish, I'm kind of having a look at that. If that remains bearish, then that implies bearishness across the board. So that's really it. So yes, obviously markets are overextended to the downside. We've this week we had a bit of a recovery, a little bit of a recovery from that. The weekly candles looking nice and bullish. We don't have a swing low yet. So no, there's no confirmation that this is going to be a recovery of any or longer term recovery or any kind of a bounce just yet. What I will be looking for this week is a break above the high. So having said that, so a break above the high would imply that the market's going to then head back up to test these levels, 23,000, see if it can get back over that. If it can get back over that, then potentially we end up with a really nice bullish candle. I'm not optimistic. I'm not. My concern is really more fundamental, but technically there's no picture here. There's no. There's not enough of an indication as to where it really wants to go at this point in time. And we've had what we were overdue for was a retracement, and therefore this is predominantly more of a retracement bounce than it is a change at this point in time. Then having a look at the daily, so just across the board I'll be looking for breaks above the high of the weekly candle. But having said that, the dailies have all set up with bearish candles. So what I'm going to be looking for Sunday night, Monday, is looking to see the markets actually head lower. All right, and if they do head lower, it's possible the market, if it breaks below 20,000, it's going to work its way down towards 17,200 at least for the Dow at any rate. Then having a look at the S&P. So the S&P. Same thing again, obviously a bullish candle here, trying to find some support above these levels and having bounced off lower levels. Again, this is where Trump came in as president, so pretty much all of the so-called value given back to investors, or at least taken away from them, I guess, anyone who came in after that. Bearish candle having set up here again. So these actually look, the markets are looking very much as though they actually intend to head lower this week. So as I said, on the weekly, if we break higher, then I expect us to have a nicer retracement, but the daily is implying actually that it's looking more bearish. So we had a bearish candle set up here, the market broke below that, then climbed higher, then set up bearishly again. This is a very bearish kind of indication, especially if we break the low of that. So in other words, sellers stepping in here, then the market follows through, then the buyers come in again, but then the sellers step in actually in larger amounts. If we follow through on that, makes more sense, the market's going to head lower. And again, would make sense to me to see this actually head down towards the next level I've got down is about 62.40, which is at lower down about here. So that's, that's acceptable within the kind of market conditions that we currently have as well. So just having a look at a few of the others. Again, Mini Russell set up that bearish candle. Yes, we're extended to the downside, but this is a fear-based market at the moment, and therefore moves lower make perfect sense. I would mention that the FTSE has already created a swing higher and therefore is more prepared to follow through. A break again of Friday's candle to the downside makes more sense. DAX is nicely set up, so there could be some really good swing trade opportunities or day trading opportunities as well in the coming days to the downside. If the markets start to break lower, that's going to look really good, and of course it's going to move really fast. The French CAC as well set up with a nice bearish candle going through to Euro stocks, has also produced that bearish candle, and again finishing off with the ASICs. All right, so this is already headed lower, broken lower, produced the bearish candle and a swing high and started to head lower. So that's looking quite bearish at this point in time. So every single market having set up with a bearish candle on the daily. The trick, or what I'm going to be looking for tonight over the next 24 hours to see if we do break low. If we do, it's possible we may do another leg lower. But at the same time, I'm looking at the weekly, and the weeklies are set up to become swing lows and have a bit of a weekly retracement. So you can see that there's a fork in the road. The daily may attempt to head lower, and by the end of the week, we could actually find the markets actually head higher. So all of that, of course, I'm hoping, just like everyone else, to see the markets find a bit of a footing, a bit of a recovery. But the news is not getting better, it's kind of getting worse, and so we really do need to get something like that will just calm market participants down. We've had some really big moves, and so this is something we've never seen before. This is without a doubt, if you don't understand what a black swan is, this is a black swan event. This is an unknown, and this is unlike, without a doubt, if you want to know if this is worse, obviously, than the 2007-2009 financial crisis, absolutely. Okay, so there's no doubt about it, and we haven't even seen the fallout of that. Jobs numbers came out, and of course they're the worst so far in history, so another record for Trump. And of course it isn't necessarily all on him, but his behavior has now resulted in the US being the global epicenter for the virus. So that, what I mean by that is now not really going to introduce much faith necessarily into the US markets, and it's the US markets that have largely created this fall, because when they have a bad day, we all do. And so that's where we need to see a bit of a recovery. We need to see it in the US markets. We'll see if the stimulus package makes a difference. But certainly I would say the markets so far have set up on the daily to head lower, and the weekly we could have a potential turnaround. So as I said, we'll see how we finish the end of the week. I may end up having to record a follow-up during the week, later in the week.